This is the Coin Show Podcast, the show about coins and coin collecting, and not just any show. This is the #1 coin collecting podcast, going 10 years strong. Here's Matt Dinger and Mike Nodelman on the Coin Show Podcast.
It is episode 190 of the Coin Show Podcast.
It's amazing.
It sounds like we finally got it right.
It sounds like something different's going on, that's for sure.
There is definitely something different about the audio quality tonight. So, let's see. On this episode of the Coin Show Podcast, Matt and I are going to talk about some news in the world of currency. Mm-hmm. And we're going to take listener questions. We are going to chat with the people that are here live to join us.
Yep.
We are going to talk about your coolest things.
Oh boy, that's my favorite. That was the best idea, best darn idea I ever had.
But first, as always, the news.
So, Mike, who is the news brought to us by tonight?
The news tonight is brought to you by Staples. Not the store, the actual office supply.
Oh.
We're so indispensable that the store is named after us. We're Staples. What do you got to say about that?
Oh.
And by Outer Mongolia State Teaching College, reminding you to keep your ink wet. No bucket, no drip. I have no idea what that means. Look, they buy them, I just read them.
Wow, that's amazing. That's great. That's awesome.
I'm glad you liked it. So, Matt, the Long Beach Expo is back.
I saw this news story. There's a lot of people that are going to be excited about this.
Yeah, so absent since February of 2020 and possibly the last major coin show to actually take place. The return of the Long Beach show is a welcome step on our return to the normal USA tour.
Yep.
So the expo will be held September 30th through October 2nd in where else? Long Beach, California, at the Long Beach Convention Center.
Say it again.
Yeah, an event hosted by Heritage Auctions will offer coins, banknotes, as well as other stuff. Expo updates will be timelier due to ongoing health concerns and can be found at www.longbeachexpo.com.
Nice. You know, I'm glad to see this stuff coming back. I know things are still a little tentative right now, but you know, I'm glad the shows are coming back. The hobby surely needs it. I'm excited.
We adapt and we overcome as human beings. We do that just like viruses.
Yep.
We adapt and we overcome. And so what this is this is just our way of, you know, this is going to be part of the long term, you know, of how we adapt and how we improvise. Now you have websites that are going to be a lot more, you know, timely with their updates. I mean, think about it. You could probably look at a coin show webpage.
Yeah.
6 months before it and 2 days before it, and there generally won't be like any changes at all to it. It's not going to be the case anymore.
Yeah, I think you know, I'm glad. I'm glad that we're on the upswing. I'm glad we're on the way out of this. Boy, I just hope that we keep on this track. That's all I really have to say about that.
Yes. NGC is adding video games to the Certified Collectibles Group portfolio.
I saw this. What a weird time we live in.
CG is looking for video game experts to help with the launch. They're advertising for people who are experts at grading and authenticating video games across all platforms.
Yeah, the collectibles in general right now, there's this crazy thing going on, which I think I'll bring up in a different story here in a few minutes, actually in the next story.
Yeah. But I mean, the skill set that they're looking for on this is kind of strange. You know, it's like they're looking for people who are experts at grading and authenticating video games. You know, so what they're looking for is gamers that really know stuff. But I mean, let's face it, the industry doesn't exist. Well, I guess it does because there is one company out there doing it right now, right?
Yeah. There's people out there grading this stuff, and just like coin grading companies, I think there actually have been a video game grading company, at least one for a while, because I've seen other stuff in the past about this before this crazy market kind of blew up.
But here's where I'm lost on the whole idea is that okay, you can see a coin when it's certified and graded.
Right.
It's in a slab that you can still enjoy the coin. Now you can't hold it, you can't certain things with it, but you can still appreciate it for what it is.
Right.
A certified video game
is just a box.
Is a paperwork. It's a paperweight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but they certify the actual, like, the outer box, and the reason that I think this is getting some coverage now is because they just recently sold a video game for over $1 million.
Yeah, and do you want to know why?
Because it was a mint issue of an extremely popular game that survived never being opened.
The question is why video games and why now?
Because they can probably go into funds, Right.
So I think that comes down to the people that are buying them, okay, are people that enjoyed these things as children. They are now coming to the point in their life where they have a lot of disposable income.
Yeah.
They're trying to recapture part. Look, that's the same. So for us, for my generation, it was baseball cards. And I watched the value of rookie baseball cards, Nolan Ryan's, Mickey Mantle's, things like that, just skyrocket in value. And now they're not worth so much.
Yeah.
It's because the people that are interested in them are dying off. I think there's a lesson to be learned in that there's a market for it.
Yeah, cards are kind of hot right now too, buddy. I don't know.
The market is very temporary.
Oh, sure, I agree.
The market for cards is actually more for classic cards from the early 50s and 60s. Man.
I've been seeing a lot of modern stuff.
Box sets of, the cards. I mean, that was the problem. Is once they started making box sets and you could just get every single card in a set, it wrecked it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know that, but there's been even some modern cards bringing millions of dollars recently. So who knows? We're in such a strange time. And let's go ahead and jump to this next story so I can continue on down this same path. If you don't mind.
You're talking to the kid who put a Nolan Ryan rookie card in his spokes, more than likely.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
So while we're on the subject of CCG, Blackstone Tactical Opportunities has acquired a majority stake in CCG with the mission to accelerate CCG's growth. Now, Blackstone Tactical Blackstone Tactical Opportunities is a group that advises prominent athletes, recording artists, and other people with god-awful amounts of money who want to invest. But here's the rub for me. Blackstone acquired a controlling interest, so they're going to be calling the shots.
Yes.
Not somebody who knows about coins. So if I recall correctly, the coin grading, certification, and authentication business is what built the company.
That's what it started as, yes, as a coin grading service.
So now they're expanding under new leadership with a focus on growing the business. The thing that has killed many a business over the years is the desire to become all things to all people. If you have a successful business, the temptation to apply that formula to other industries is really strong, but it may or may not work out. The issue becomes when you mortgage your golden goose to try and do new things. You can kill the goose in the process, or at least water down the brand so badly that it becomes less valuable or even entirely worthless.
Yeah, so this is the second of two very, very large buyouts by investment firms over the last year. We had PCGS was purchased earlier this year, and its parent company, Collectors Universe, was purchased earlier this year by an investment company. And now we have NGC's parent company, CCG, purchased by another investment company. So basically what we are in right now is these companies are going to kind of become footnotes in a battle against these gigantic investment companies that see the market in cards. They see the market in, they see the market in the ability to take collectible items and put them in investment funds now, as long as they're certified. They see the market in being the company that certifies, these particular things, being one of the only companies that certify these particular things. So coins, I'm afraid, are going to become kind of a side note in this gigantic battle between these companies, and maybe even these coin companies, coin certification services will get spun off. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. And as the people that founded these companies kind of, start to age and get aged, I believe that they, are going to look at exactly what these guys did. Salzburg decided, I'm done. And he sold the company, and that's great for him. The problem is we have some other companies that are coming down the line in the future. One being the largest auction company in the world. That the founders and original owners of the companies are getting to the age where something might happen. And it would not surprise me to see Blackstone or the company that bought PCGS, which I can't remember the name of the company off the top of my head, but it would not surprise me to see those companies actually going after a company like Heritage or going after a company like Stack's Bowers to add to their portfolio.
But it sounds to me like you don't disagree with me too much.
Not necessarily, no.
What I said. I mean, we still said different things, but the underpinnings of them were basically the same. Is that we feel like what built the business is now not going to be the focus of this business, which means that it can now go badly or it can become ruined in the effort to support other businesses and other ventures that may or may not be successful.
Well, for example, Collectors Universe, their card company is called PSA, and they certify multiple times the amount of pieces that the coin and paper money divisions of PCGS do. Multiple times the amount a year. They have been so swamped lately that they actually had to stop taking any and all submissions for a time. They had backlogs in the millions of items to certify, and the turnaround times were in the months and months, like 8, 10, 12 months. So, that is the cash cow right now for that particular company, and that's good for them, but the problem that we're going to run into is that now, companies like PCGS, like PCGS Banknote, are being affected because they're having to share the same, like the same shipping room. They have millions and millions of car. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, the person in the chat that gave me the name of D1 Capital Partners and Cohen Private Ventures with Nat Turner. So that's the company that bought Collectors Universe. But the problem is, we have these companies that us as coin collectors depend on, PCGS and NGC, that are now just wrapped up in this, and their services, I believe, are going to suffer because of all this. So hopefully not. Hopefully they can streamline the machine that they already have and make it even more of an awesome, amazing machine. And we won't have to wait 10 or 12 months to get our stuff certified. I don't know. We're going to find out, though, friend.
Well, we're going to find out. I think that things are going to change. But look, I think that it might signal the beginning of the end for these two as the one and two only players in this game. That if their turnaround times get bad enough, if certain things happen, I think other services may become more attractive. Or
I will tell you that as a company that shipped almost exclusively to NGC and PCGS, their turnaround times got to the point where we actually started sending some of our lower value stuff to Annex, simply because we could get our stuff back from Annex quicker and a little bit cheaper. We could have our stuff back in our office before it would even be logged in at either of the two major companies. So,
and in some coins, it really doesn't matter.
Right, and in certain values of coins, it's not that big a difference. It might be a little bit less, but I'm willing to take a little bit less because I would rather not have them sitting there for 8, 9 months, 6 months.
You get your money back faster, and that means you can put it into something else.
Yeah,
but like you said, I think that the overwhelming desire to be all things to all people is what's coming on here. And look, the idea that these big investment firms can run companies. I became the victim of a company that was bought by a big holding company, an investment firm, and they came in and they put a lot of money into us. And what did they do after they sold it?
Yeah,
because that's what they do.
Yeah.
So this is I think an interim step. I really do. I think that they're gonna play with it for a little while, and then they're gonna move it.
And this market's not going to last forever. This market's not going to last forever. It can't.
That's not.
I mean, just everything collectible right now has just been going insane. Cards, Pokemon cards, comic books, video games. I've seen it in the coin and currency market. It's one of those things that it can't go on forever. And there's going to be a point where it's not going to be profitable for them to have those corporations anymore. And then
there'll be something that they move on to.
Yeah.
There'll be something else. And speaking of moving on.
Sorry. Yeah, I've had that pin up conversation in me for a little while, so I'm glad we got to talk about it.
I'm glad you got it out of you.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel better? Is there anything else that you want to cover?
No, it didn't make me feel better, but it's I'm just glad we got to talk about it.
Okay. The state of Ohio has reinstated its sales tax exemption for bullion.
Good for you, Ohio.
But it's only for bullion and bullion-like vehicles. So according to the Coin Week article, the tax exemption applies only to precious metal purchases and coins containing precious metals. So to be clear, currency and clad coinage is not exempt. Only precious metal. So originally the exemption was passed in 1989, but was repealed in 2005. The language in this particular legislation specifically refers to, quote, investment metal bullion as what is exempt. So this is not an exemption on coins, but rather only on coins that contain either silver, gold, platinum, or palladium.
Well, it's weird too because they actually got it passed a couple years ago as well. I forget exactly when, right about when Indiana did. So 2020. Ours was a little earlier than theirs, I think. But within the last 8 or 10 years, they actually had it exempted as well, and then it went back to being non-exempt, and now it's back to being exempt again, all within about the last 5 or 6 years.
Well, it's only partially exempt, though.
And it was that way as well before.
They're not talking about coins. And I think that that's a really, really important distinction to make. Because it sounds to me like the Ohio, I don't know what they call it, the legislature.
Yeah.
They either don't understand the coin business and how bullion and coins are inextricably linked, or they failed miserably at writing a law that targets bullion vehicles alone.
Yeah.
Because the bill doesn't include an exemption for rhodium or any other new precious metals that may arise in the future. This bill specifically mentions 4 metals by name, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I have a good friend, a very good friend of mine, who was one of the people that went and testified in front of the finance committee meeting of the Ohio legislature. So, I kind of got the inside track on what was going on, and I think they just took what they could get.
It's better than nothing, right?
It's better than what it was. Yeah.
I'm in Illinois where we don't have sales tax on coins.
Right.
And it's way easier to do business here. It's like if it's currency, if it's coins, if it's collectible, like that, it's exempt. And if people want to come in and buy bullion, that's exempt too. So we don't really have to get right down to it. If I'm selling somebody, you're telling me that they don't have to pay sales tax on a 65 Kennedy half,
right?
But they have to pay sales tax on
a 71 Kennedy half proof.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
It just doesn't make sense to me. So I mean that's the problem that I have with it. I don't know.
Welcome to legislation, Mike. Where
I've been Mr. Negative today, so I'm going to stop.
It's all right. No, it just doesn't make sense, and that's the way most legislation is. So.
Yes, absolutely. The new ANA president and ANA board of governors will be sworn in at the World's Fair of Money in August.
Hey, we're going to be there.
Yes, we will.
Oh boy.
Awesome.
Yep.
We're going to have fun, and we're going to meet a lot of people, hopefully.
Yeah.
So the ceremonies will take place at the ANA banquet on August 13th. Dr. Ralph Ross will be sworn in as the 62nd president of the ANA, replacing Steve Ellsworth. Ross won election by a razor-thin margin.
Did you see that?
Pagan, by 17 votes.
The voting was so close along a lot of these lines. It's amazing.
Yeah. So that's a tight election. So Charles Morgan and Mark Leiterman will join the returning board members, Marilyn Garrett, Cliff Mischler, Shanna Schmidt, Mike Ellis, Rob Oberth, and as well as the returning vice president, Joseph Bowling.
Yep. Also, Charles Morgan and Mark Leiterman are now governors.
They are joining the board.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I read ahead. My fault.
No worries. The U.S. Mint has released the first of 5 new 2.5-ounce silver medals in the Armed Forces Silver Medal Program.
Oh, friend, guess what?
What?
You have another one of those stories that I don't have.
Well, we got 13. I don't know how that works out.
The next story I have is Croatia celebrates 30 years of independence.
Oh, I don't have that story. Go to the next one.
The Israel.
Okay, so I guess
you gave me the wrong link.
I guess I gave you the wrong link. So let me cover this really quickly. So the U.S. Mint has released the first of 5 new 2.5-ounce silver medals in the Armed Forces Silver Medal Program.
If you just wait a sec, I can get us to the page. I'm sure I can find it, and then we can just
Coinweek.com.
Yeah, I know.
No, it's on that page. Croatia celebrates 30 years of independence.
Okay.
That was the page.
What the heck? He's talking about U.S. Mint medals, 2.5-ounce.
Right. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I can look at the page if you want. So let's see. Croatia celebrates. I had to just give you the wrong page. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's great.
My fault.
We can edit all this out too, so it'll be fine.
This is coinnews.net.
Okay.
And it's 2021. Let's see. U.S. Air Force 2.5-ounce silver medal sales begin July 13th.
Sorry, everybody. Thank you for being so patient with us. You guys are live.
The live, you get to see how the sausage is made.
Yep. U.S. Coast Guard or U.S. Air Force, 2.5-ounce. I'm sorry. Air Force. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now go ahead and start it.
So now I can read my story.
Yep.
Great. So priced at $160,
no.
it has delayed.
Start her all over. We'll just cut it right here and bang it out. Sorry.
The U.S. Mint has released the first of 5 new 2.5-ounce silver medals in the Armed Forces Silver Medal Program.
Huh. Wow, isn't that cool?
Yeah. Priced at $160, the Mint has delayed sales of this medal due to fears that a stampede of demand would once again render the Mint website useless.
Dude, that is a pretty cool looking piece. Did you look at the pictures
of this thing? It's a cool looking piece, but for them to say that this is going to blow the place up like the Morgan Dollars did is,
I mean,
don't flatter yourself.
There's a lot of veterans out there that like this kind of stuff. I guess
get it. I think they'll sell out, but I don't think they're going to sell out in 10 minutes.
Well, this is a 2.5-ounce piece. This is not like your dollar size piece. This is probably like a
priced at $160.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big dude though.
It's a limited miniature 10,000 medals for each release, but I think they're safe on this one. I don't expect to sell out for at least a day or so following the release.
Huh.
There is also going to be a 1-ounce silver and a bronze version with identical designs that'll be sold later this year. Now, the 1-ounce silver, I think, is going to really, really do well.
Right.
Because it'll be probably priced at like $70.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I like the design of that. I'm not usually one for these mint medals, but this one's pretty cool. This one's pretty darn neat.
When you get the designs right, it works.
Yeah.
So the program will offer coins for each of the 5 branches of the military. I don't believe that Space Force is going to be included.
What? Why not?
Sorry.
That's a shame.
So let's go straight to the nation of Israel.
All right.
All right. The nation of Israel will issue coins honoring their medical professionals.
Huh.
So the 5 shekel coins feature 2 sets of hands, one holding the other. The hands on the left belong to a medical professional, as is shown by a stethoscope and surgical mask, although after last year, the mask could be anybody. And the motto with gratitude in Hebrew, Arabic, and English. So the reverse is typical of the current circulating 5 shekels coins.
Huh. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's not a super interesting design, but it's a meaningful design. So
Yes, and I think that it's paying homage to people that have put their lives on the line. I think that's a very noble. We should say thank you.
yes, very good for them.
The ship's bell from the SS Central America will make a working appearance at the 2021 World's Fair of Money.
Oh, cool! We're gonna get to hear this thing.
Of course, we're going to appear.
We're going to get to hear this thing ring. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yes, working appearance. So the bell will be on public display August 10th through 14th in the hall and will be rung every day 30 minutes after the opening of the bourse floor and again at 3 p.m.
That's pretty darn cool. I mean, that's pretty neat. I'm excited. We'll have to go. We'll have to go attend that together and see what that's all about.
See if we could ring the bell. That'd be great.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? I doubt. Yeah. I highly doubt.
Probably
that we know anybody that can make that happen.
No. The bell has a very interesting story, as it was the bell that helped to identify the shipwreck. So, as the bell came into the view of the robot submarine camera, the embossed lettering came clear, and the lettering helped in identifying Morgan Iron Works as the manufacturer. And this provided yet another piece of needed evidence to identify the ship at the salvage site. The salvers were really pretty sure that this was the wreck of the Central America, but the bell provided the confirmation that they needed.
Right, that's awesome. Yeah, we can record it and get the sound of it. That'll be really fun.
We could play that all the time.
Yeah.
So it has been publicly displayed twice before, both times in Columbus, Ohio, in 1992 at the Columbus Museum of Art, and in 1993 at the Columbus Zoo. The bell is almost 2 feet tall and almost 2 feet in diameter. I can't see anybody on the bourse floor not being able to hear it.
Oh, yeah. You're going to know that it's going off. Huh. Yeah. Really cool. Very, very cool story. I like that one.
There are no Morgans, no peace dollars available right now. No proof Silver Eagles, no mint sets yet.
Yeah, no.
So given all that, what would you guess is the best seller at the Mint this past week?
I'm not gonna look. I know it's there, but I'm not gonna look. They don't have the new Silver Eagles out yet either. It's probably mint or proof set would be my guess.
We'll see, the mint sets aren't available yet, so yeah, proof sets.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, the commemorative dollars this year aren't selling well, and there aren't a lot of mint releases, so of course the proof sets and the silver proof sets are the big sellers. But the numbers are still really, really low. There's only 313,000 clad proof sets and 210,000 silver proof sets, as opposed to 465,000 last year and 313,000 silver sets, respectively.
Huh.
So
yeah.
It's like, you know, a small percent. And look, this is about the time of year that the sales start to really drop off.
Well, it's summertime. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the summer doldrums, you know, when stuff kind of grinds to a halt for a little while people go on vacation like I'm doing. And, you know, so should be.
Yeah. So I think that the Mint needs a new product, something to drive sales better than these stodgy old proof sets. I mean, I feel like I'm living in the 70s sometimes.
Well, they were supposed to be putting out a new product, but here we are waiting on that one.
Well, they can put out the product if they make more of them.
No, I was talking about the peace dollars.
I was too. They could make more of them, and then they wouldn't have the problem. But, you know, they kind of locked themselves into that. They painted themselves into a corner on it.
Yeah, nobody paints baby in a corner.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think a coin and currency set, a special finish coin set. I mean, I'm getting desperate.
Wow.
I need something different. I need something new.
Yeah, well, just be patient, friend. We've got it coming. It's coming down the line. We got our new Eagles. We got our new silver and gold Eagles in. So the new Type 2 reverses are here. I know you have them. I know I have them. So
how do you like them?
Yeah, they're not bad. They're not great. They're going to take a little getting used to.
I'm a bit disappointed, but
they're going to take a little bit of getting used to.
Beautiful. I really like the reverse of the gold one.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite of the bunch.
Yeah, it didn't look as good in the drawings, and it really turned out well in person.
Yes, I agree.
Heritage Auctions will offer a very rare $17.97 half dollar this month at the Summer Fun Auction.
Wow.
Well, it probably already took place. A mintage of only 2,000 and an estimated survival of 40 to 50 pieces makes this an exceedingly rare coin.
Yeah, 96 and 97 half dollars are tough. They're tougher than.
Now, here's an interesting thing that I learned. No half dollars were struck in 1796.
Yeah, I think they were all made in 97.
Right. Halves dated 1796 and 1797 were struck during 1797, and it's because they made the dies and they were going to use them.
Yeah, they might as well.
Right. So none would be struck again until 1804, which makes this a rare 2-year, 1-year type.
Yeah. Yeah. Super, super cool coin.
Yeah. Other NGC rarities in the Summer Fun Auction included an 1874 cc Arrows dime graded just good for.
Tough coin.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 74 cc Arrows. 74 Arrows 50 cents, graded at proof 65. Let's see, 1907 high relief wire rim 20, graded at 66.
One of my favorite coins ever.
29 Saint in 61, and a 1915S Pan Pac round 50, graded MS 61.
Ooh, another coin I really like.
Now, not to be outdone, Stax Bowers is offering a very unique type coin in a 1827 over 3 over 2 quarter at this year's World Fair of Money. So this story dates back to the time when coins were made with the available dies, kind of like the last one, 1796 and 7.
Right.
And they were not always delivered on a regular basis. So quarter dollars had not been minted since 1825 when the variety was produced. And apparently the die chosen was one last used in 1823 and had been previously used in 1822. So this created a triple overdate of 1827 over 3 over 2.
The best part?
Yeah, and since minting was done with available dies, we can assume that all 4,000 quarters were struck with these dies. But there is no confirmation. So, in fact, it is suggested that the 4,000 coins delivered on December 30th, 1827 may not have even been dated 1827 at all.
Yeah. Well, but you know what the best part? The coin they're selling at the show is graded Proof 65 Cameo by PCGS. And it's been certified by CAC.
There's only 9 examples of that coin known.
That's a tough coin.
So it is possible that the overdate coins were struck and handled specially and for, presentation. They do share a single reverse die different from the issues of 1825.
Yes.
Also available at the A&A auction, Stax Bowers will offer a previously unknown 4-subject uncut note sheet.
Ooh, national notes. I love national notes.
So the notes are $5 1902 red sheet or red seal sheet number 1 notes from the Citizens National Bank of Macon, Georgia, and have been graded as Choice AU by PMG. So this was the first sheet of notes for this bank, and they were saved for posterity, I guess.
Yeah, normally when it comes to national notes, number ones actually aren't all that rare. You can find a lot of number 1 notes and sheets out there just because the bank president, wanted them. So he would turn in $20 or whatever, and he would take that home, and that would be his, hang on his wall. So...
Well, here's the thing that I think is important to get your head around is it's not the serial number 1, it's the sheet number 1.
It's the sheet, yeah, it's the sheet, the first sheet.
Right.
Yep.
So, I mean, I can understand why somebody would save that and why that would be common.
Yes.
So the sheet was unknown until it was presented at Stax Bowers. This sheet has never been on the market.
And the fact that it's a red seals. Red seals are much scarcer than your normal blue seals, which is what you see most often with serial number 1s. Blue seals and small sized national notes and number 1 are not uncommon. The fact that it's a red seal is what makes this note exceedingly rare compared to other examples out there. So that's why they are covering this one, because it is a red seal, in fact.
Well, yeah, estimates would be completely meaningless on this coin. Or on this note.
Yeah.
And finally, in the news, the U.S. Mint is trying to help alleviate the latest coin shortage.
There's another one?
But they're not doing it by minting more coins. There's actually plenty of coins in circulation. They just need to be used and put back. So according to the Mint News blog article, the Mint typically provides about 20% of the circulating coinage at any given time. Last year, production was increased to provide 30% of the nation's coin needs. But now that we know that the virus is spread through touch and that circulating coinage doesn't pose any threat, let alone one of any significance, we need to get the change that's laying around in jars and bottles back to work.
Take your
so
buckets.
That we don't need to manufacture as much.
Yeah, take your buckets back to the coin store, people.
Take them to or take them to the bank.
Take them to the bank. That's cheaper.
Yeah. What can we do? Start sending your coins back into circulation. Use coins, spend coins, and accept them as change. That's, I think, the biggest one.
Yes. Yeah.
So the coinage of America is underemployed, and only the people can save that. I will put away my soapbox now.
Wow, you got a workout tonight, didn't it?
Yeah, I think I spent the entire newscast on that soapbox.
Well, that's all right.
Well, that's what it's for, right?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. And that was the news. And the news was brought to you tonight by Staples, not the store, the actual office supply. We're so indispensable, the store is named after us. We're Staples. What do you got to say about that?
That's good.
You're listening to the Coin Show Podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nodelman.
So, a very interesting piece came available.
I think it's still available. I think you can go bid on it right now.
Yes, you can. I need to get the link to it. Can you send me a copy?
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know. I gotta find it. It's in my news links.
Oh boy.
Oh no, it's not. It's not my news links. That's why.
No, it's in our little chitty chat we have on Facebook. I'll get her for you, friend.
Okay, thanks.
It's gonna be.
Oh, it's in the Facebook chat.
Yeah, like twice, and it's in your personal one because I sent it to you earlier. Remember?
Okay, then I'll get it. Hold on a second.
Boy, howdy. My editing is going to get put to the test tonight, friends.
Yeah. You know what? I think. Yeah, there it is. I think that I've lived through that as well. So
yes, you have.
Okay. So a pair of notes has come available this week.
Yes.
This is Federal Reserve 3001B and 3002B. They are 2013 $1 Federal Reserve Star Notes.
Pop these up.
They are both from New York.
Yep.
And they both have the exact same serial number.
Oops. Somebody messed up.
Technically, they should not.
Right.
But there is a difference in the two notes because one was a Fort Worth note and one was not.
Somebody didn't get the memo to not use that number at one of those two places, basically.
Well, here's the thing is if there's one pair of matching serial numbers, there's got to be more, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's at least a sheet's worth of notes.
Right. There's got to be at least 32 of them.
That's correct. But the problem is, could you put them together?
Right. So somebody's done the work on this one, and in so doing, the one note that entered circulation ended up a choice very fine, whereas the other one is 66 PPQ, right?
Right.
Or EPQ.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a heck of a story on how they do that stuff. When they do these replacement notes, they do big blocks of them to basically cover for the amount of notes that were damaged. They don't do the exact serial number of the note that was damaged. They just do blocks of them to cover for the amounts. So, they run these blocks. As you can see right here, it says they have an authorization of the BEP to print $1 New York Star notes with serial numbers 1 to 640,000. So they were basically given authorization to produce this block of notes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were later given authorization to produce another block of notes.
Right.
So they don't, like I said, I think a common misconception people have about star notes is that they take the note that was damaged in circulation, they replace the exact serial number, and then they just put a star at the end. That's not quite how it works.
Yeah, no, it would just be too difficult. But
Right.
one of the really interesting parts about this story is that, in the Stax Bowers article, in their sales flyer for this, right, they say the pair did not magically come together, as members of the group found the PMG 66 in an original BEP pack from a currency dealer in Alaska.
Right.
And 2 years later, the other example was found in a coin shop in Germany.
My question is, who's the guy that goes through notes by serial number? Who is this person? Whoa.
Well, this is somebody that had to know that this was the case. So he had apparently a range of notes of serial numbers that he was looking for.
Maybe this was something that was rumored to exist, and then somebody finally confirmed it by finding those notes. I don't know.
Or maybe this guy's just a real, currency geek, for lack of a better word, that where they really pay attention to what's going on and had an idea, like, you and I have said, that there's at least one sheet.
Right.
There's at least 32 notes that have identical serial numbers. So, maybe he was looking for, or she was looking for something, in that range of 32 notes, saying, okay, I have the pack here. All I've got to do is find, one of the other star notes. And the fact that it's a star note means that the chances of finding it might be a bit better. Now, how you go about tracking it down? Seriously?
I think it's just dumb luck. I don't know,
Well,
man.
it has to be. I mean, it's like they didn't magically come together. I think that the explanation for it is just falling short of magic.
Yeah, I have no idea. That's pretty cool, though. I'm glad that they found it. If you look at the auction here, we actually have the live auction up for those of you joining us live. It has an opening bid of $6,000 with an auction estimate of $10,000 to $15,000 for these two notes, which by themselves would not be worth very much at all. But the fact that they have the exact same serial number from the same district makes them rare, and that is why they're worth so much stinking money.
Yeah,
Wow.
and at this moment, there is 36 days, 20 hours, and a minute left for internet bidding.
So that means that this sells in Chicago, right? August? Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be World's Fair money.
Yeah. Interesting.
So we can actually go and see these notes.
Yep.
Go and hold them in our hands. You want to go to the ANA, go to the lot viewing for the ANA auction, and
Fun. That's fun.
check this out. Yeah, so I think this is a really cool note.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Set of notes.
Do you want to take some listener questions? Do you want to do that?
Can we?
Yeah, we surely
I
can.
stop talking for a couple of minutes.
I love to get off on tangents with people that are watching the show live. So let me pop this up here. Let me get where I need to be. I'm here. Okay, so let me go back and see if anybody's thrown any out. Sometimes people just do it for fun. And why don't you log into the email real quick, or not, and
Yeah.
see if we have any.
Radio.com.
Michael just asked, will you guys do a show from the ANA? We're going to do something.
If we can get it done, we will.
We're going to do something from the show. I'm bringing a lot of the tech that we have, that we do the show live with. If we can do something, we're going to. It's going to be up to internet connection mostly, and where we can get a decent one. If not, we'll record a bunch of content and bring it back home after the show and just give it to you guys as fast as we can. Of all the cool stuff that we see. Sometimes that's the limiting factor, though, about doing these live streams and live shows is the actual connection to the internet, which we have discovered over the years. You need a good one. I remember our very first time, Mike. Do you remember in Chicago sitting there streaming on my iPad together for the very, very first time we did anything? That was horrible. It was terrible.
It was horrible.
But
hopefully there's not a copy of it available anyplace.
Oh, there most certainly is. There most certainly is a copy of it available. So, the answer to the question is we are going to surely try to do some stuff from the show. So, yeah.
And the answer to your question is no, I did not get any email.
Okay. All right. Well,
We go straight to the chat.
yeah, going straight to the chat. You guys got a question or something you want us to talk about? Just throw it on out here. We are happy.
Criticisms.
Yeah, not necessarily criticisms. Taffy shooting them at us. Taffy Coin says, "Do you think precious metals will hold as they are, or will the bubble burst soon?" Good question, Mike. Do you have an opinion?
Well, if we knew when the bubble was going to burst, then we'd be way ahead of way ahead of it.
I get this question a lot from folks that come in the office, and I know I say that a lot when I answer questions from listeners. But it's good because a lot of people think the same way. The way I see it is, there's a lot of things going on in the economy right now that can drive the prices of metals. You have inflation in the United States specifically right now with, we're seeing it. I know gas prices are up, and then not just your typical summer bump. The prices of some commodities, lumber is up. So there is inflation kind of creeping into the market. And that is something that keeps the price of gold and silver up. So I think there is some support to these numbers and this kind of area where we're at. And so, I think that for now it's probably not going to be a soon release. And the fact that we've been in kind of the like $1,300 to $1,800 range in gold for the last several years is a good sign as well. So I don't think it's going to be something fast. I think if anything, it's going to be a gradual movement one way or the other at this point.
And I will say that, in my opinion, there's a lot of people that make money on predicting doom and gloom, and that this is going to have an impact and that's going to have an impact. And so far, most of them have been wrong.
Yes. Oh,
So,
do you guys have people that come in there and just spout that stuff off too into your store?
No, I'm actually talking about hardcore economists, where they've talked about things like, the debt exceeding GDP and things like that, where that would be just an absolute collapse, and it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even the really big-headed guys that, are paid to think about this stuff are just thinking about it. They're just pontificating, and only history will tell us what happened.
I guess I only get the questions from the people that buy those big-headed guys' newsletters. So there you go.
Well, see, you live in a fairly conservative place.
Yes.
Whereas I live in a city. So typically cities are a little bit more liberal bent.
Sure.
And just, so.
Dave,
people spouting that stuff, I get them coming in with other stuff. So
yeah, that's true. That's probably a good point. David Nelson says, any predictions for the next Morgan release day, or just a different flavor of S show? Which, if this wasn't a family-oriented show, I would say that word. But
yes. I think what we mean.
Yes, I surely do. They say they're working on things. I hope that they're working on things. I hope that it's going to be, I hope that we get a new experience when it comes to trying to order stuff from the mint, though we've been promised fixes in the past that have just resulted in people finding a way to manipulate the system that way or a different way, or, as long as they keep striking these coins in limited mintages, I think there's always going to be people out there trying to find a way to get what they want or need, no matter what, the end.
I think that if we had rights to royalty music, we would start playing that song "Promises, Promises."
Yeah,
because I mean that's really what it comes down to. Is they've made these promises that things are going to be better. All I can tell you is things are going to be different, not necessarily better.
Might be.
So yeah, so we're going to see what happens. In my opinion, it's not rocket science we're talking about here. This is not really a difficult problem to solve. And they're certainly struggling with it. So, I mean, that to me is just
the worst. I mean, what's the worst thing that happens if they open up these mintages? They sell more coins and make more money? I mean, come on.
Well, I'm not even talking that. I'm talking about, okay, so you want to do something with a 10,000 mintage that's going to sell out in 10 minutes. That's great. But you should have some kind of an idea that that's going to happen. I think that if you pay attention to the people that talk about your product, which is what good marketers do, right? You always pay attention to your
Sure.
audience. If you pay attention to that, you're going to know which ones have a buzz about them and which ones are going to really get hammered. And it's those ones are the ones where it's a train wreck.
Yeah.
So, the solutions are literally technical solutions that just need some help in the way of either server farms or whatever, but it's temporary. It's not they don't have to build a warehouse for this. All they have to do is rent some space for 20 minutes while it sells out.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I mean, just to me, I just don't think that they're paying enough attention to it.
There's two solutions to the problem. One of which is just meant to order, the end. The other is anticipate that you're going to have this kind of reaction to your products and deal with it on a computer or server issue, on a computer or server level, and make it happen.
Picture it like this.
The end.
You have been tasked with putting out a raging bonfire.
Right.
You've been given a gallon of gasoline with which to get this done.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the way I see it.
That's the way it works right now. You're exactly right.
You're not going to get it done with that. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to work.
Yep. Richie says, let's see, I saw his question come by. Just curious if you guys have seen any spikes in numismatics in relations to the sports card market. I think it's all interwoven together. I think, like I said earlier, collectibles in general are just hot right now. I think it's trickling down from, the super hot markets, the card markets, the Pokemon market, the sports card market, sports collectibles, trickling down into every form of collecting because it's kind of the same kind of people involved. Collectors in general tend to collect many different things. They collect coins, they collect cards, they collect military stuff. Like I collect military stuff. I like cards. I like coins. I do a lot of different things. So I think that, the people that are involved in that market are just kind of trickling down into the other markets. I've seen generic dollar prices go up lately.
I think that the bump that we're seeing is temporary, and it comes from the pandemic, from people having been cooped up.
Possibly.
So apologies to DJ Khaled and Migos. It's like fad alert, major fad alert. So, it's like,
oh my gosh.
I'm just saying
that's going on a button over here, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. But I mean, I'm being serious. That's what I think is going on. It's just a fad, and so you have to kind of be careful because there's going to be a reckoning, and things are going to catch up, and then it'll kind of go back to the way it was. So you just don't want to be the one that's caught holding the bag. Is really what it comes down to.
And I think the stimulus money, people are making jokes about what people were spending their stimulus checks on, but. That's kind of what's going on right now.
Well, as long as they're spending it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right. Interesting.
From an economic standpoint, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the market. This is a different thing than all of the other boom markets that have happened over the past years. This is something that, it's not the silver boom that's causing the rush. It's not it's not economics that's causing the rush. It's literally just people having extra money in their accounts, and wanting to enjoy what they enjoyed as a kid.
I think that has less to do with the stimulus and more to do with people that actually have more disposable income.
And that's possible.
I think that the bump we're seeing has to do with the fact that people were cooped up for a year.
Well, that too.
And they were forced to do things that were sedentary and at home. So this is something that's why this was popular back in the 30s.
You know what? That's not a bad point. People could have been sitting around, in April of 2020, like, well, I can't go to work, and
I can't go to a movie. I can't do this. I can't do that. So it's like,
let me go dig around the closet, those old cards I had,
stuff, cards, coin collecting, collectibles, and then they started getting kind of into it again.
Yep.
So I think that is artificially inflating that market, and I think you need to be really careful right now.
Not to mention, we're seeing these big funds getting involved in the collectibles market because they can take these certified collectibles and put them into their funds, and then sell these bundled investments, to their clients, and That's not helping either.
There's a reckoning on that too. So think about the fact when they were talking about putting coins into an index fund, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
And it was going to be like the top 100 or something like that. It was an index fund, and the fund. I mean, the price of it just kept going down and down, and you know, because
yeah, the ETF, the exchange traded funds that they're putting these things into are just they're just investment vehicles for people, and you know they want to put these things in there. They're going to have decent returns, but if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world for these giant megacorps that do this. As you know, for there's winners and there's losers, and I mean it's good that there is interest coming into the collectibles hobby, the collectibles market in general, and it's getting spread around. It seems it's just a matter of, is it going to stay that way, and what happens if the market changes? You know, if people lose that interest. So we'll see. It should be interesting. It's going to be an interesting time coming. The next 5 years for the collectibles market are going to be really, really strange. And I'm glad that we have this show and we're going to be able to talk about it, because we're going to see a day of reckoning, I believe, in the next 5 years for a lot of things.
this is my prediction.
Yeah, let's hear it.
That's it. I think it's all going to come crashing down.
It's entirely possible. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. That was a lot of fun. I always love that section too, of taking some questions from folks. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I like to hear what you guys think and what you guys want us to talk about. But
Now
we have to get to
for your favorite segment of all time.
my favorite. You're right. My favorite segment of all times. Let me.
It is, as it should be.
Yeah. I agree.
I truly believe that.
Let me get here. Let me get where I need to be. I think I
Start
got
playing
it.
the Jeopardy theme.
Nope, don't have it. It's okay. I'll get to it. Boy, I'm making this editing it's going to be amazing for me.
You are going to have just a solid good time.
I know. There it is. Okay, I got her up now.
Got it?
Let's just check this out. Friends of the Coin Show. Guys, let's check out your coolest things. So, Friends of the Coin Show, if you guys don't know and you're watching this right now, this is our private Facebook group that you can come join, where we ask you guys to post your coolest things, your newest or most favorite coins. Doesn't matter if they're new, I guess. Your new favorite, your new purchase. And then we're going to do a segment about them like we do every other episode. So, Mike, you want to get us started here?
That would be difficult.
Oh, okay. Well, then guess I'll go ahead and do it.
Thank you.
Dave Nelson, he picked up a toned Vermont Commem purchased from a random dealer in Indiana. I wonder who the heck that was. Very cool coin. One of my most favorite Commems, not for the obverse so much, but for the reverse, with that big cat on there looking like it's just strolling along. Neat coin. Very, very neat coin. Battle of Bennington they have on the reverse there. Super, super cool piece in Vermont. So thank you, Dave.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you, Dave, for showing us that. Sean says he picked up. Oh, go ahead.
I picked this up a couple of weeks ago, a 1964 Bermuda Crown. So photos are from the seller because I haven't had time to take my own pics yet.
Ooh, that's a cool piece.
Nice little bit of tone to it.
You know what? I see these coins all the time when they come across my desk. I never stop to take a look at them. That coin's actually got a kind of a cool design. It's got the lion holding up the shield with a sinking ship on it. That's pretty cool.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
So that's one Bermuda Crown.
One Bermuda Crown. Super cool. Thank you for showing us. Let's see. Isaiah Hegman, Slab King.
The Slab King
Says, here's a fun piece that was in and out recently. 1950 Booker T. Washington with a gold CAC sticker. Nice. Green label.
Gold CACs. Marcus Davis actually replied to him saying he's always figured gold CAC holders are rare. because they get broken out and resubmitted almost instantly. I'll tell you that's been the overwhelming, I think, fate of them. But
A lot of them, yeah.
I think that there is a growing number of gold ones out there.
Oh, I mean, people recognize it. You have two camps with that. You have, okay, well, I'm going to break it out now and send it in. What's it going to come back? I'm excited to see. And then you have the guys that are like, man, this coin is so nice. It got a gold CAC sticker. That means it's undergraded. So, I think there's those two camps, and it's...
Yeah. I think that there's a very high demand for the gold CACs.
Yes. And speaking of CAC...
They also added one more cool item for his PC, and that is a gold foil hologram NGC 2.1 slab with a nicely toned Morgan.
Yeah, he likes his slabs. The Slab King, very cool.
King. So,
yeah. Chris Elliott says South African 2 Rand gold coin I found in my grandpa's old coin collection that I inherited. Totally unexpected. It was in a pile of his international coins. Normally he would separate the special coins from the rest, but this one wasn't, so I don't think he knew what he had. Well, heck.
So it's about the size of a nickel.
Yep. So it's, I believe these are 1/4 ounces of gold.
They are.
They are. And, yeah, so that's a heck of a find.
Yeah, absolutely. For free, especially.
I could think of worse things.
Our friend Malcolm McGaw. The Victorian British Indian rupee is one of the most common coins around, but has a complex series of varieties for both the obverse and reverse. The obverse sees varieties in the front panel of the jabot, or lace panel on the dress, and the reverse sees varieties in the type and placement of the lotus flowers and leaves, mint marks, and the placement of small dots.
Huh.
Yeah, so this is let's see, the coins minted from 1862 to 1876 have the same 1862 date.
Wow, that's cool. I know that there's a lot of varieties in those. I've never gotten into them, but I do know that there's a bunch of different varieties. And maybe that's actually why I never got into them, because it seems kind of difficult. But I'm sure once you learn it, it's just like anything else.
These are sterling, so they're kind of nice. They're about the size of a $50.
They're pretty, too. Yeah, I see them occasionally.
Over than a $50, so that's always nice.
Bob Brock says, snagged this raw piece dollar at an estate sale for $40 a few years back. Seemed like a good price at the time. Finally got around to grading it a while back. They did some conservation on it, and voila, it came back AU55.
Nice.
Oh, it's a 34S. Yeah, that's a tough coin when you get close to mint state. That is probably... if piece dollars had a semi-key date, that would be the 34S. Because in low grade, they're really not worth much.
Right.
But you start getting some meat on them, they really start to pick up as far as price goes. So, cool coin.
Stephen Hall. Think I may have posted this one before. We don't care.
That's fine.
But this is my toned Columbian $50. So these are really nicely toned Columbian halves.
Yeah, they really are.
Being kind of even.
I think it's the same coin. It's the same coin for sure. Yes, sir.
Wow, that is a big difference in the exposure, the lighting,
photography. Well, you take it at an angle to show one group of colors, and you take it at a different angle to show a different group of colors. That's just normal coin photography, I believe. Cool, nice coin. Aaron Lawrence posted a 1942 quarter in MS65 star. Wow, pretty coin. It's got some pretty toning again. Tonight must be toning night. I think it's toning night with you guys again, which is fine. It's something that we come across quite a bit with you guys.
Leonardo Barros says this time instead of a single coin, it's a group shot. All of the tetradrachm denomination. Oldest is 450 BC, Athens. Newest is 250 of the Common Era, Roman.
That would be probably that guy there. Yeah, very cool. I love ancient silvers. I don't know nearly enough about them. I'm learning, but that's. I just.
I mean, to think of something that has been around that long, has crossed that many hands, and you know what? Maybe I'm becoming jaded because I work for an ancient dealer. But I'm really starting to enjoy ancients just from the standpoint of there's no taboo in handling them.
Yes, you can put them in your hand and grab them and feel them and get that heft. Because a lot of those are very chunky, heavy coins. So
yeah, they're thick sometimes too.
Yeah, very, very thick. You don't understand how thick they are. So Super cool. Thank you for posting that. Joshua Wright, 1910 Great Britain, 1 florin with a different reverse design. Got this at a coin show in the 3rd, and heard a guy say he never saw one of these before. Huh.
This is the Great Britain monetary system before decimalization, and it just always kills me because you've got farthings, and you've got halfpennies, and you've got pennies,
Threepenny bits.
You've got sixpence and threepence, and florins and guineas and quids and it's just pounds.
Yes. They'd streamline it a little bit with the.
I think. Yeah. It's kind of like the metric system for coins.
There you go.
I collect coins of places that I have traveled. This is Eugene Kim. They're not worth anything, but I still enjoy having them. I got this when I went to Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado.
Oh, that's cool. It's like a silver round. It says Mesa Verde National Park, and then it's got this. Oh, Mesa Verde. This is where they have that cliff with all the ancient Native American dwellings underneath it. Super cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. Russ Thompson says, nothing really special, but my first cacked coin, a 1958 D Franklin. Hey, man, that's awesome.
66.
Yeah, 58D and 6 with a CAC sticker. You know, when CAC first came out, I thought, man, this is goofy. And now, it's really become kind of something that I look for in the market. It's funny how these things just kind of fit in.
You've been indoctrinated.
Joshua Wright, another cool find. Not necessarily a numismatic related item, but still a cool find at a thrift store for $2. It's a Tennessee state seal on a slab of marble, and the Ike is there for scale. So, as someone from Tennessee, this is especially cool to me. Hey, man, if it's round and it's made out of metal, then it can be numismatic, because technically this could be a metallic art. It had to be struck or made somehow, so it's definitely numismatic. But yeah, Tennessee State Seal says the great steel, the state of Tennessee. And then it has agriculture, commerce, and the date 1796. So very, very cool. And it looks like it's pretty large size, probably 3 inches in diameter. Very cool.
Okay. Tony O'Neill, clad modern can be pretty too, Matt.
Yeah.
I agree. Plugging the album with as many cheap proofs as possible. Another friend on here motivated me with this found penny album. This can be an affordable hobby. And I agree.
Yeah, it sure can.
It also has a harshly clean trade dollar, which is an affordable trade dollar. Wish it had chop marks, but he feels fortunate just to have a trade dollar.
Yeah, that's a nice looking coin. It's a heck of a lot of meat. Coin.
Yeah. We had something walk into the shop this week that was a Philippine peso.
Uh-huh.
It's the large dollar size coin, and it had chop marks in it.
Wow, cool. I don't think I've ever
very,
seen one
very
of those.
Cool. Yeah.
Huh.
Let's see. Our executive producer, Justin Urban.
Yeah, he posted a 1902B British trade dollar, graded by PCGS as MS62. One of my favorite designs from all British coinage is the obverse of this coin. I just really like it. It's just very emblematic of Great Britain. And then
we'll have to ask Baz about that one. He can explain the symbolism to us someday.
Yep. And then the reverse is really cool because it gives you kind of that Orient feel. You see some Arabic writing, you see some Asian writing, and this is kind of where this coin traded, just like our trade dollars. It was used in a lot of the British protectorates around Asia and the Middle East. So very cool coin.
Yeah, it's kind of reminds me of that shekel coin that has, it's not only in Hebrew, but it's in English and Arabic. So
sure.
It's where it circulates.
Sure.
Jim Barlow went into my dealer's shop last Friday, texted him earlier in the day letting him know I'd be in with our oldest son to buy him a new coin for doing such an awesome job with his chores and for doing an absolute killer job with helping baling hay, even with it being 95 degrees out.
I've done that. It sucks.
Or something. So
yes.
Yeah, so he stopped and he picked up this is the Spanish Empire 1718 or through 1722, 2 reals.
Oh, cool. So it's a silver Spanish coin. Nice.
Yeah. So this one is minted in Seville.
Nice.
Yeah. That's a really cool coin.
Looks like it did its job well. It's got a nice square hole in it from a square nail, an old nail, and it's very well worn. So that coin
it tells you period, hole, and why do they have the holes in them?
Because they would hang them above doors, if I remember correctly.
Well, they'd hang them around their neck as well. I mean, the story as I hear it was that
for these particular coins?
Well, not this particular coin, but coins in general. You know, a lot of people worked in the shipping industry because that's where most industry was at the time. You were either farmers or you worked at docks and stuff like that, or on a ship. And a lot of people, you know, they had homemade clothes.
Yeah.
So the pockets were either non-existent or they were loose. So when they'd fall off the ship, they'd lose everything that was in their pockets. So they would take their coins, they'd knock a hole in them with a nail, and they'd run a string around them and put them around their neck.
Smart enough.
If they fell off the boat, they still would have their money.
Hopefully. That was the plan.
Yeah, well, it worked for a lot of people.
Yeah. And then Jim also posted, he just picked this up as well. Oh, this is a cool piece. This is a 1838 Hard Times token. This is an anti-slavery piece. So
yeah, this is one of my favorites.
Yeah. This is probably my favorite Hard Times token. And around the outside it says, "Am I not a woman and a sister?" And it shows a woman chained, looking to be begging up towards the sky. And this is actually a second piece in this particular series. The original was a Condor token made back in the 1790s as an anti-slavery piece in Great Britain. And it said very similar around the outside. It said, "Am I not a man or am I not a man and a brother and a man?" And
am I not a man? Am I not a brother?
Yes.
And the Condor token is actually relatively common.
They're both popular.
Yeah, they're very popular. They actually came out with a Hard Times token with that same motif, but there's like 4 to 6 of them known.
Yeah, that's
super, super, super rare.
Yeah.
I have somebody who was actually looking for one of the Hard Times tokens. I came up with the Condor token for him.
Nice.
He's like, "No, I want the Hard Times token." I'm like, "You realize how expensive that is?"
Ash Dobbs post, "Here is a silver taler struck in Hall, Austria. I've always liked these large silver coins of Germany and the Holy Roman Empire. Obverse shows Ferdinand I in all of his titles of what lands he was king of. The reverse has one of the best eagle designs in my opinion. Historical items like this is why I love collecting." Let's take a look at the front here. There's old Ferdinand.
The eagle on the back is really magnificent, and the strike on this coin is really good.
Wow, that is
really,
cool.
Really good.
Yeah, that eagle is looking kind of like it got splatted against a window going about 80 miles an hour.
Dead bird.
Yeah.
So
very cool. Very cool coin.
I've always, every time I hear Holy Roman Empire, I think about coffee talk. Holy Roman Empire, not holy, not Roman, not an empire. Disgust.
I'm feeling a bit
verklempt. Susan Stahl. I really like this 2-ounce round.
Susan brings some cool rounds every time we do this. I really like
she
that.
Is a stacker.
That's great.
Yeah.
She has a Pan American Exposition that has a cool buffalo on it, and I'm trying to figure out who this would be. Liberty, maybe? Probably Liberty.
Yeah, it looks to me to be Liberty and the buffalo. And then on the back side, you have
Native Americans
smoking a peace pipe.
Cool.
And then there's another coin that she shows. It's also a pan pack round.
Now, I know that design. Do you know that design?
This one is...
I
do not know this. It's St. George on the dragon, isn't it?
This is the same design off the Pan Pack Exposition $2.50. This is on the obverse of that particular coin. And then if you go over, that is a rendition of the reverse of that same coin. So that the Pan Pack $2.50 Kamem, that is the front and back done in a 2-ounce silver form. Again, one of the most beautiful coins we made. One of my favorites, Pan Pack 2.5.
Absolutely.
Very cool piece. Karen says, found my first RPM on 1963 D quarter. Looking at it, I'm not seeing it right off the bat, but let me get in here a little closer.
Make it really big. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's something going on there. I don't know if that's mechanical doubling or...
It's like it may be a repunch to the east.
Yeah, it could be. It's hard to say. Hard to say on that coin.
There's a better picture.
Yeah.
Underneath. The next picture.
Yeah. It has a chance.
Well.
It has a chance. We'd have to get out the references on that
But
one.
you're saying there's a chance.
Mark Schuer, incredibly exciting. I got a $1 Monopoly coin. I wonder if Dansko makes an album for these. Did I say that sarcastic enough?
Yes. No,
Okay.
you did not.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
he put sarcasm in parentheses.
$1 coin.
Nice.
Who made it?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Doesn't have any Parker Brothers logo.
It just says one and then the M dollar sign that Monopoly kind of uses on their money.
No. Every time I look at one of this guy's coins, I have to wonder.
Yep, Jack Young.
Oh, yeah, Jack is his coolest thing is the small collection of deceptive counterfeit S158 large sets, 2 in genuine PCGS slabs and 1 in an ICG holder. So these examples all have the same die markers.
Yep.
But it weathered and surfaces manipulated to try and hide the truth.
They all have the same matching marks. Let's see if he posts the pictures.
He posted a picture of the attribution marks.
Yeah, here we go. So all of these counterfeits, and those coins are all counterfeit, friends, will have the same attribution points here. So the shape of the Y, the dimples on the bust, all 3 of those coins will have all 3 of those dimples. And then tooled/removed reverse die break and the scratch over the tip. So if you look on the left-hand side of the 2 pictures we have here, you'll see a T with a die break kind of sort of going through it. And then on the right, you'll see the die break continuing down into the coin. It should continue down into the coin, and the counterfeiters actually removed it thinking it was some sort of blemish. And then also, in the next picture here on the right, you'll see the die break going up through the A and the T. That's supposed to be there, but again, the counterfeiters actually removed that from their final product, thinking again that it was some sort of blemish in their product. So, wow, that's and he also posts the link to the article. Maybe I will put a post on Friends of the Coin Show and also on the regular group with this article as well, so you guys can get in there and read this a little more in depth.
Yeah, so this is a copy of his first really comprehensive Coin Week article.
Cool, perfect. Yeah, well, I'll get that out there for you, Jack.
Sharing, Jack. We are definitely pushing that on to our friends.
Yep.
Marcus Davis, I wanted to start a custom set for myself, so I decided on Lincoln sets that are off-centered at least 15%.
Cool.
I wanted to see complete of a date mint mark set I can get.
Man, that's going to be tough. It's going to be relatively easy for a while, and then it's going to get really hard really fast.
You know, I like the effort. I really like the ideas that people come up with for different ways of doing stuff.
We have been saying that for years. Collect what you like. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks about it.
It doesn't matter what it's worth either, because you enjoy it. And
Right.
that is value in and of itself.
Right. And last but not least tonight, Joe Bohannon said, "You once said that if you're browsing a dealer's stock at a show and they ask you what you're looking for, say bus dollars if you want to be left
That was
alone."
me.
Yep.
That was me.
Well, occasionally they have one. $17.99 PCGS VF25, perfect addition for my get a coin from every year project. So yeah, that Joe, I know you and I kind of talked about this a little bit, or maybe we talked about it even on the show, that getting a coin from $17.99 was going to be kind of hard, and this was going to be your best bet. So I'm glad you were able to get this coin. Looks like you picked up a heck of an example, because that looks like a nice coin.
You know, it's great, though, because in doing this year set, I think our friend Joe is going to weave himself in and out of pretty much every series.
Yeah, he's doing a
be some
typeset the hard
that'll
way.
be- That might be missing, but I think that overall it's all going to be there, and that's kind of cool.
Joe's doing a typeset the hard way. Well, thank you guys so much again.
And that was the coolest thing. So yeah, every time you guys share those with us, we like it. You know, it's please, every time we do it. So next month we will have this again. You can send us your coolest things and post them to the Friends of the Coin Show podcast.
And if you're not a member now, go join. It's easy.
Yeah, all you have to do is request to be a member and prove to us that you're an actual living, breathing human being.
And not a robot.
Right.
Yep.
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
And then look like a human being.
Yep. Well, friend,
That's the hard part.
can you believe it?
Yeah. So, you know, we were criticized for going too long, and what'd we do? Pump out an hour and 20,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. So,
Oh, well.
oops. We overbought.
Thank you, guys.
So I want to send out personal thanks to Ernesto for doing all the stuff that he does on Facebook.
Yep.
To our vacationing unnamed source, who is now someplace where we can't say where he is.
I believe he is also in some hot location that may or may not be in the state of Nevada.
Undisclosed location.
Okay. Area 51. It's Area 51.
Producer tonight has been Justin Irvin.
Yes.
Thank you to all those guys that do what they do behind the scenes to help make the show run as well as they do.
Corey as well. Don't forget Corey.
Oh, I'm sorry. And to Corey Scherer, who is new on the block but is fitting right in and helping right out.
Yes,
so
he is.
thank you to the guys that help us do the things that we do here.
Yes.
And thank you to the people that help us to do things in other ways, and by subscribing to our patron page.
Yep. Supporters, patrons.
patreon.com.
You guys rock.
You guys rock. We do something special for you guys every week. It may not be really worth listening to, but apparently somebody likes it.
There you go.
Other than that, thank you to all who listened, because without that, we'd really be wasting our time here.
Yeah, pretty much. Thank you, guys. You guys have a wonderful night. Thanks for joining us. Mike.
Take care.
Mike, thank you. Thank you for being you.
Oh, thank you for being you, my friend. And thank you to Rodecaster for giving us a firmware update that we can live with.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
I have one thing to say about that. That is just fantastic.
So for the Coin Show podcast, I'm Matt.
I'm Mike.
We'll
talk to you next time on the Coin Show podcast.
You've been listening to the Coin Show podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nottleman. The boys will be back soon with another informative and entertaining episode. Meanwhile, you can follow the show on social media at The Coin Show on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook at facebook.com/The Coin Show. You can also join their private group. Just search Facebook groups for Friends of the Coin Show and request access. But if you want to take it to the next level and support the Coin Show podcast, you can go to www.patreon.com/The Coin Show. If you subscribe at the $5 a month level or higher, you'll have access to Not the Coin Show podcasts on the off weeks, as well as other surprises reserved for our patrons. Visit our website at coinshowradio.com or download our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever you download your podcasts. This has been the Coin Show Podcast.